The new record for 16 most postseason touchdowns by a quarterback wide receiver. I mean, how are you and Tom going to get over the devastating news?
I mean, like Tom said, it was very beastly what they have accomplished. And Travis is a great guy. So if anyone is going to break my record, I'm okay with it being Travis. He came to Gronk Beach before. We had a dance-off. I beat him in the dance-off, so I still have that underneath my belt. But Travis Kelce and Patrick Mahomes, they're not just the best quarterback to tight end duo in football. They may be the best quarterback to wide receiver or just quarterback to tight end or quarterback to pass catcher duo in the NFL. And they are definitely the best left in the playoffs with the last 4 teams standing. So I'm just honored and humbled to be in the same category as Travis Kelce. I think he has the second most touchdowns in the playoffs. Jerry Rice being number 1, and then me being number 3. So just got to tip my hat to Travis and Patrick and say congratulations.
It's very nice, but you didn't say all time. You said left. You said right now.
Yeah, all time, Kay, all time.
They're better than you. You're telling me right. You're not going to sit here and tell me that Travis Kelce and Mahomes are better than Tom and you.
All right, I thought you were trying to tease me, like saying right now that I'm going to be coming back in the future.
No.
But
all time. You cannot. You're not saying that they're better all time than you and Tom. You can't say that.
I'm gonna let you guys. You know, okay. I'm gonna let the media. I'm gonna let you, Kay. I'm gonna let you guys have that argument. Tom and I, we did our best we could do when we were out there.
Have you and Tom talked about this? Was there any discourse between the two of you when this record was broken?
No, we haven't talked yet. I just saw what Tom tweeted out the other day as well, just how beastly of a accomplishment that is. I agree with it. It's definitely beastly. And you just don't, break a record like that just from sitting back and relaxing. They definitely put the work in. They had the perseverance to get to where they are. They had the dedication that they needed to in order to break that record. So I can only just tip my FanDuel hat to them and just say congratulations.
You're the best, Gronk. I will say, so you're being very cool. And we were talking about it in the pre-show meeting. I go, all Gronk's going to say is it's amazing because he loves Kelce. Like, you have always been so complimentary. You have the utmost respect for each other. And it's so mutual between the two of you. But I will say, when I ask you about your other record, your single-season touchdown record, you perk up. I think that one's a little different to you. How would you feel if somebody broke that one or came for that throne?
Kay, that's the record I truly cherish, definitely. I had 17 receiving touchdowns that year, and then one of them was a rushing touchdown as well, even though technically it was a pass. But I had 18 total. That's the record I'm going to cherish forever. And if someone touches that record, then I may perk up and come back to the game of football. That's the only way I may possibly come back. I love that record, and it's meant to be broken. Records are meant to be broken, but I think that one's going to stand for a little bit.
I mean, I'm trying to think of who could come for that, and it might be your boy, Sam Laporta, honestly.
Sam Laporta is a great tight end. I think he can have about 100 receptions a year, about 1,000 to 1,300 yards per year as well. But I don't think he is capable of having 18-plus touchdowns a season.
Yeah, nobody's touching that. I like that me and Hamilton were like, man, I just think Gronk really cares about that touchdown record way more than this one. So that would be a tougher pill to swallow, but nobody's coming for that one. And if so, it'll be your invitation back into the league, which I love. Listen, Travis Kelce, what happened? You're watching this game. I'm watching this game. It's the best he's had in a while, best he's looked in a while. 2 touchdowns, clutch, 75 yards. What was different about him as you watched this game?
Well, we talked about it earlier in the season, Kay, is that the Kansas City Chiefs can just turn it up at any given time. They've been in this position multiple times over the last 5-6 years. They've been in the AFC Championship game or the divisional round or whatever round they're playing in. So they know what it takes to win the game. And every time they show up, at this type of level, in front of millions of fans watching this deep into the playoffs, they always show up and they're always going down with a fight, besides the only time when they faced us in the Super Bowl when I was on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Other than that, they know what it takes, and they're always going to show up and they're always going to give it their all, and that's what they're doing. They got rid of the blemishes that they were having throughout the season, and Travis Kelce showed who really Travis Kelce is last week versus the Buffalo Bills.
And Andy Reid also seemed to move him around a bit more. which I feel like was great, and they had him like running routes out of the backfield at points, which I think was really helpful, and we'll see if that translates. When you look at this, and not this game, of course, but the matchup that we have between Lamar Jackson and Kansas City, like where does your head as a 4-time Super Bowl champion go with the Chiefs being slight underdogs facing Lamar and company?
Well, I just want to hit on real quick what you said about Andy Reid moving Travis Kelce around. That is very true. They did a great job, and I recognize a play that I really fell in love with that they ran when Travis Kelce came out of the backfield and he went right through the hole, right by the offensive tackle, and then went right by the linebacker, and they hit him for a corner route. I think it was his first catch of the game. It was very creative. I definitely admire that play, and they're doing such a great job being able to utilize them and get them open. And then on top of that, we got the Baltimore Ravens versus the Kansas City Chiefs this week. And I just think the Baltimore Ravens are just too much of a consistent team. They have too much firepower on the offensive side of the ball and defensive side of on the ball. So I just can't see the Baltimore Ravens losing this game. I can see Kansas City Chiefs giving them a for sure fire battle, but I just don't see the Ravens losing. I mean, this year they have beaten every winning team they have played this year by like 2 touchdowns. I don't see the Ravens going down.
We have Mark Andrews. I mean, I keep looking and refreshing to see if he's playing, if we know what's going to happen. I mean, he could be healthy enough to be out there this weekend. And I'm wondering, like, if you're Harbaugh, if you're Todd Monken, like, we know we love him, are you keeping Isaiah Likely in the game plan, even if Mark Andrews can come back?
I'm 100% keeping Isaiah Likely in the game plan. The guy has shown that he can ball. The guy has shown that he belongs out on the field. And let me tell you, Kay, if you have a 1-2 punch at the tight end position, it's the hardest personnel group to defend in the game of football. You don't see, teams out there with a 1-2 punch at the tight end position where both of them are number ones. And with Mark Andrews coming back with Isaiah Likely out there on the field, it gives them another package that the defense has to defend. Therefore, the Baltimore Ravens and Lamar Jackson are going to be that much more powerful on the offensive side of the ball.
Gronk picking the Ravens over the Chiefs. We'll get to the NFC matchup. I have a lot of questions about Brock Purdy because it's kind of hard. You look at this matchup, it's like, what is there to say? Mahomes can step up. Lamar is going to take over the game at points. Like this one's just going to be sit back and relax. It's the NFC side of things that's kind of funky after last week's game, so we'll get into that. But it's the AFC Championship game. This is the game that you and I picked. We got, between the two, we're going to do a little no-sweat same-game parlay like we did every week this year. Chiefs-Ravens, you're up first. What is the first leg of our championship parlay?
Yes, I'm going with my fellow tight end that I just talked about who just broke one of my records. So congratulations, Travis Kelce. But I'm going to go with him once again. He's going to have 50-plus receiving yards. He always shows up.
Yeah, what are you? You're just giving these legs away? Come on, Gronk, he's 50-plus. I'll go 50-plus rushing Lamar Jackson. I just feel like that's a good number for him. He's going to have to do that in front of his home crowd.
And I'm going with Lamar Jackson as well for my second parlay, and I'm going to say he's going to have at least 1+ throwing touchdowns.
The Pacheco leg of this, to wrap it all up, I just talked so much about him. This dude is unbelievable. I'm looking at the numbers. He scored a touchdown in 6 straight games, so I will go casually an anytime touchdown. Yes, does he run at a crazy yard per clip, all of that? Sure. Is he going to be involved? Is he an X factor in this game? Totally. But I say he's going to score a touchdown. So let's recap this bad boy. We've got Travis Kelce, 50-plus. Receiving. Lamar Jackson, 50-plus on the ground. And he's averaged 93.4 rushing yards a game in his 5 career playoff games, by the way. Lamar Jackson, 1+ passing touchdown. Easy. Isaiah Pacheco, anytime touchdown. Let me ask you this. By the way, you guys can go do the no sweat same game parlay, ride with us, or you can build one. If it doesn't hit, no sweat, you get your bonus bets back. Or you can do whatever you want over at FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. I've been talking to guys like Super Bowl champion Torrey Smith, and I've been talking to even the Andrew Whitworths, just people who have the pedigree. You have, what they have 4 times over in some cases. You have 4 rings, and with 2 different teams, which is so interesting. I keep hearing the same theme about the teams that are left, and it's selflessness. And I was talking a lot, even the Packers who lost, like their receivers reminded me of this like Brady interchangeable receivers. Like everybody was getting the ball, nobody was getting the ball, nobody cares. It works in San Francisco. It works, it's what Ravens are all about. Marcus Williams said they're so unselfish when I talked to him yesterday. How much does that really matter? Because it really seems like those teams, without any of that outside, give me the rock, I want to get paid stuff, are there right now.
The give me the rock, I want to get paid stuff, that kind of goes with the regular season, especially if you're not going to the playoffs. You're just trying to build up your stats so you can, get a big contract in free agency. If you want to win a championship, if you want to win a Super Bowl, if you want to be winning at a consistent rate, you have to have an unselfish team. I would say that's the formula to winning. If you got guys that are about themselves, they're going to be doing things out on the field that aren't necessarily transitioning into a winning football team. So therefore, being unselfish is one of the biggest keys to having a championship team, no doubt.
Well said. At Up and Adam Show, guys, with your questions. Before we take a break, and we do have a mystery guest for you, Gronkster. Any guesses?
I'm going to go with, is it a quarterback?
No.
All right. The shadow that
Did
was
you think it was going to be Tom Brady?
Yeah, because it looked like him as a shadow, as a mystery guest.
Well, we have to change that shadow because now it doesn't matter who it is. Now it could be Will Ferrell again, and it's not going to be as cool. We're trying to get Tom. I don't know if Tom, we got to get Tom. Tom Brady, stop playing coy. Stop playing coy. Come on the show, Tom.
He'll come on one day.
Okay, who do you think? Well, I'll let you think over the break. Here's what I need out of you, Gronk. You help me figure Brock Purdy out. AFC quarterbacks playing out of their minds. Brock Purdy was, I don't know what's going on. He did struggle in that Packers game. It's fair to say that. Weather, hand size, grip, whatever. Where do you stand with him?
I would say that Brock Purdy was thinking that game. And when you're thinking as a football player, you can't perform to the level that you want to perform. As you can see, that one play where he dropped back and he was thinking about his hand being wet and not having a good grip on the ball, he kind of wiped his hand on his body and then threw one of the worst passes to the corner route that was wide open for an incomplete pass. So when you're thinking like that, if you're thinking that you don't have a good grip, you're thinking about whatever else besides the game of football, you're not going to play to the level that you got to play to. So Brock Purdy needs to go out to this game without thinking, and just play the game of football, just hit his routes, hit his guys like he has been throughout the regular season. And I think he will. I think the weather definitely affected him. And if it's clear skies this game, he's going to play well.
Now, we know Debo. We actually don't know. Debo always comes on our show on Tuesday. We have not, had him on the show. He's trying to heal up. He left that game. They still got the win. And I'm looking at George Kittle here because I wonder if his role changes, if he becomes the number one option. He had 14 catches, Gronk, for 227 yards in 2 games without Debo Samuel this season. He's averaging over 100 yards a game. Like, he could have to have a huge game here.
Yeah, George Kittle is an absolute beast. He was first-team All-Pro this year, and he definitely deserved it. He's the best overall tight end in the game from the blocking standpoint all the way to the receiving standpoint. He had a big game last week, and with Debo Samuel possibly being out this week, he will definitely be the true number one. And he always steps up when it's time to step up as well. He's a leader on the field. His attitude that he brings to the team, lifts everyone up day in and day out, non-game day or game day, whatever the situation is. So George Kittle, just an absolute beast, one of the best tight ends in the game. And let me tell you, he's going to step up and have a huge game as well. He's going versus Sam Laporta. He has to show him that he's the daddy in the tight end game.
He definitely has to do that. I want to ask you because Sam Laporta is going to do his thing, of course, but they did pick up a new tight end, Detroit. They pick up Zack Ertz yesterday. And, Derek Barnes was on, or Mondays. There's Derek Barnes, who made the game-stealing play, he was on our show while it was happening, and he's like, wait, what? We just added him. And there's obviously a backup to Brock Wright, who's a tight end who got hurt, of course. How does this work? Because what's realistic for him to be able to work, to learn and pick up? He's got Super Bowl experience. He's, a high-level tight end, but going in there as a man who never studied, what do you think?
Well, Zack Herz is a very solid tight end, but he hasn't played in a couple weeks now. I think it's been about a month or two. So being away from the game for that long, you may be a little rusty. And if somehow he is elevated, to the roster on the Detroit Lions this week, I can see him having just a little impact if he has an impact at all. It would be about one catch or two catches, maybe one or two plays designed for tight end Zack Herz. I mean, it's hard to get on the same page as the whole entire offense when you're just joining them at end of the season. So if anything, it'll just be minimal, and that minimal impact could be huge if it's a huge moment or a huge play at that time. But just overall, if there is an impact, I would say one or two catches, and they could possibly go for big plays.
Yeah, his last game was October 22nd.
Oh yeah, that's a long time. So I would say you're definitely a little rusty. You got to catch up to the speed of the game. I mean, to stay, on top of it, just, have the game feeling slow to you. You have to at least practice, at that speed of the players in the professional level of the NFL. And when you're away from it for a little bit, when the game feels really fast when you first step back out in the field. So hopefully the Lions win this week, and then he can maybe possibly have a bigger game in the Super Bowl if they make it that far.
We're on our way to a break. Roll the bump. Tell me who's winning this game. You're saying hopefully if they win. Are the Lions winning this game?
Well, I was saying hopefully for the sake of Zack Herz, to be, more ready to go. But I think the San Francisco 49ers win. They're just stacked overall. But I am cheering for the Detroit Lions. I really do like them, and I love head coach Dan Campbell.
We'll be right back.